Did you know that every 15 seconds, somewhere in the world, a senior suffers a fall? Think about that for a moment. That's 4 people, every single minute, falling hard, sometimes with life-changing consequences. And we're not just talking about a bruise or a scratch. We're talking about broken bones, long hospital stays, and perhaps the hardest part of all, losing the independence they've spent a lifetime building. If you're over 60, or if you love someone who is, you probably already understand how serious this is. A simple fall can turn a vibrant, active life into a cycle of fear, pain, and recovery. I've seen it happen. 1 minute, someone's walking across the kitchen holding a cup of tea, and the next, they're in a hospital bed, unsure if they'll ever walk the same again. But what if I told you there's a way to change that? A simple walking technique, free, safe, and proven by science, that can reduce the risk of falling by nearly 60%. That's not just wishful thinking. It's backed by research from Kyoto University in Japan, and it's something you can start doing today, right at home. This isn't about complicated exercises or expensive equipment. It's about learning how to walk differently, with awareness, intention, and a small shift that makes a big difference. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how it works, why most people walk in ways that actually increase their risk, and how just a few mindful steps can help you, or someone you care about, walk with confidence again. Let's get started, because every step you take should be a step toward freedom, not fear. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how some older adults tend to shuffle their feet when they walk? It might seem like a harmless habit, right? Just a small adjustment in how we move as we age. But here's the truth. That simple act of dragging your feet can be dangerous, especially when walking over carpets, small steps, or slightly uneven flooring. This habit increases the risk of tripping and falling more than most people realize. Why does this happen? When we shuffle instead of lifting our feet, our brain loses the signal that tells the body, get ready to move, stay balanced. It's often a sign of reduced neuromuscular control, and it weakens our ability to react to unexpected obstacles in our path. Something as small as a loose floor tile or a folded corner of a rug can become a serious hazard. Let me tell you about Anna. She's 70, full of energy, and loved keeping her house tidy. One ordinary day, she was walking from the kitchen to the living room, holding a glass of water. She caught her toe on a small bump in the floor. She didn't fall hard, but she landed awkwardly and fractured her hip. That single moment changed her life. She spent 3 months recovering. 3 months of frustration, pain, and the growing fear of walking again. But here's where it turns around. With the help of a simple walking technique, one that we'll cover in this video, Anna slowly regained her confidence. Today, she's back to walking in the park, just like she used to, and the smile she wears says it all. So if you've ever dragged your feet without thinking twice, it might be time to rethink the way you walk. Stay with me, because up next, we're going to learn a method that could change everything. Now that we know one of the biggest culprits behind falls, the habit of shuffling, what if I told you there's a simple, free, and scientifically proven technique that can dramatically lower that risk? It's called the mindful step. This isn't just another wellness buzzword. A research team from Kyoto University followed 600 older adults for a full year. What they found was remarkable. Those who practiced this technique regularly saw 58% fewer falls. That's not just a number. That's real people avoiding real pain. So how does it work? It comes down to 3 simple steps. Step 1. Lift your foot consciously, like you're showing the sole of your shoe to someone behind you. No dragging, no shuffling, just a clear, intentional lift. Step 2. Land gently, heel first, then the ball of the foot, and finally the toes. This grounds your movement and improves balance instantly. Step 3. Keep your gaze forward, about 3 steps ahead, not at your feet. This encourages better posture and activates parts of the brain responsible for coordination. And here's why that matters. This method not only helps with balance, it stimulates the vestibular system, which governs your sense of orientation. It even engages neural circuits tied to memory and body awareness. In other words, walking this way doesn't just keep you safe, it keeps your brain sharp. Let me tell you about Mr. Go. He's 81. After a nasty fall, he was hesitant to walk alone again, but within just 2 weeks of practicing the mindful step, he felt stronger, steadier, and more confident than he had in years. So if you're wondering whether something so simple could really make a difference, just ask Mr. Go, or better yet, try it for yourself. You might be surprised by how much power is in a single mindful step. Let's talk about something most people overlook: your ankles. We don't usually think of our ankles as the guardians of balance. But here's a fact that might surprise you. People with weak ankle muscles are 3 times more likely to fall, even if their sense of balance seems okay. That's how powerful these small joints really are. Think about it. Every step you take, every change in surface, every moment of shifting your weight. Your ankles are doing the silent, behind-the-scenes work of keeping you upright. So what happens when they're weak? They can't react fast enough when you trip, stumble, or land awkwardly. That's when a minor misstep can turn into a major injury. The good news? You don't need a gym or fancy equipment to strengthen them. Just 2 simple home exercises. First, heel raises. Stand near a chair or countertop for support. Slowly lift your heels off the ground, hold, then lower back down. Do 10 do 15 reps dnevno. Easy, right? Second, the towel scrunch. Sit in a chair, place a small towel on the floor, and use your toes to pull it toward you. It might sound silly, but it wakes up those often forgotten foot and ankle muscles. Need proof this works? Let me tell you about Mrs. Chang. She's 79. After falling twice, she was so afraid she refused to get out of bed. But after committing to these simple exercises, her confidence returned. She felt more stable, more aware of her body, and most importantly, safe again in her own home. So if you've ever doubted the power of your ankles, now's the time to start giving them the care they deserve. A few minutes a day could be the difference between fear and freedom. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you really paid attention while walking? Most of us walk on autopilot. Our minds wander. We're thinking about bills, groceries, what we should have said in that conversation 3 days ago. But what if I told you that how you walk could actually sharpen your memory? There's a technique called mindful walking, and it's more than just slowing down. It's about being fully present with every step. And science backs it up. Researchers have found that mindful walking activates areas of the brain responsible for short-term memory and movement planning. In fact, MRI scans show that people who practice mindful walking regularly have more gray matter in the hippocampus, the part of the brain that stores and retrieves memory. That means a healthier, sharper brain, just from walking with intention. So what does this look like in real life? Take Mrs. Aisha. She's 76. She used to struggle with memory lapses and poor sleep. But after starting mindful walking just 15 minutes a day, things began to shift. Her sleep improved. Her mind felt clearer, and she even picked up her old crossword puzzles again. Why does this work? Because mindful walking pulls your brain out of automatic mode. It creates what psychologists call a state of positive presence. And in that state, your brain isn't just going through the motions, it's learning, remembering, growing. So next time you go for a walk, try this. Feel the ground under your feet. Notice your breath. Lift your foot, place your heel, roll through the step, and repeat. With each step, you're not just moving forward, you're training your brain to stay young. Here's something that might surprise you. Nearly half of all falls among older adults are linked to the shoes they're wearing. Yes, you heard that right. 45% of fall-related accidents are caused by unsafe footwear. And what's even more surprising, most of these falls happen at home, in what should be the safest place. Let's be honest. Many of us slip on whatever's nearby. Loose slippers, socks on hardwood floors, worn-out sneakers with no grip. It might seem harmless, but they could be a hidden hazard. Unsafe shoes include slippery soles, no heel support, heavy or stiff material, or open-back designs that slide off too easily. They don't support your balance, and when your feet feel unstable, your whole body follows. But there's good news. The right pair of shoes can completely change how you move. Look for footwear with non-slip soles, firm heel support, lightweight material, and a secure closure, like Velcro or laces that holds your foot in place. Rounded toes are better for comfort and movement, and a snug fit helps you stay grounded with every step. Let me tell you about Mr. Ang, 82 years old. He had 2 nasty falls inside his own house. Both times he was wearing old house slippers. After his doctor recommended switching to a safer pair, he got a set of firm Velcro strap walking shoes. His words, "It feels like my feet are finally connected to the ground." And since then, no more falls, and a lot more confidence. So next time you're shopping for shoes, or even just walking around the house, ask yourself, are my shoes helping me stay on my feet, or putting me at risk? Sometimes, something as simple as a better pair of shoes can be your strongest weapon in staying safe. Growing older doesn't mean growing weaker. It doesn't mean giving up our freedom, our independence, or our joy of movement. In fact, it can be the exact opposite, a chance to reclaim control, one mindful step at a time. Because every time we walk with intention, lifting the foot consciously, grounding the heel with purpose, keeping our gaze forward, we're doing more than just walking. We're sending a message to our bodies. I'm still here. I'm still capable. I'm still moving forward. And that message? It matters. It changes how we carry ourselves. Зрение, как мы чувствуем, как мы живем. Mindful walking isn't just a technique. It's a quiet revolution happening inside your nervous system. It strengthens your balance, sharpens your focus, even improves memory. But more than that, it rebuilds your confidence. And confidence is the real key to freedom. Take a moment to imagine what life could feel like if you weren't constantly worried about falling. If every step felt solid and steady. If walking through your neighborhood felt like an act of empowerment instead of fear. That kind of life is possible. And it starts not with fancy equipment or expensive treatments, but with the way you move. So next time you stand up, pause. Take a deep breath. Then place one foot in front of the other, with purpose, with presence, with the quiet strength that says, I still belong in this world, on my own 2 feet. Your journey isn't over, and your next step, your mindful step, might be the one that brings your freedom back. If this message inspired you or someone you care about, don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Joy Life. We're here to walk with you, step by step, toward a stronger, happier, more confident you.